Welcome back to Bombastic Nation and Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm the Giant and I'm back with some more vibes for you. You know what I mean? Hope you all are doing great out there. Let me thank you guys for checking out these videos and stuff with me, because we're watching them together. You understand when I say a thing? I hope that's what you're thinking. That's the point. But thanks for commenting. Keep the comments coming. Keep the suggestions coming. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to answer to every single one of them. I try to do that. You know, thanks for the positivity too, because I'm getting positive vibe on there. You know what I mean? Please don't argue and fight. The point of me doing this so that everybody could talk, chill, be human. You understand what I say? Thing, but we gonna watch this. This one is called "How Diverse is Russia? Russia's Republics Explained." See, when you say Russia, everybody think of one thing: communism, dictatorship. We don't think of where we are here. We don't think of the people, the day-to-day life of the people, where they're from, their origins and stuff like that. We don't try to understand that. We just go with politics. That's what we call it, politics, not politics, politics. But anyway, let's watch this. Let's YouTube and simmer. I'm excited.
When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, 15 new countries were created. This massive union of different republics comprised nations as vastly different as Turkmenistan and Latvia. But Russia is still pretty big today. I mean, it borders both Norway and North Korea, and has a surprising amount of diversity within those borders.
Let's hear it.
Just how big and diverse is Russia? Brought to you by generous support from viewers like you on Patreon. Thank you. In the West, we generally tend to view Russia as one big, monolithic, all-Slavic country. And for those of us who know a little bit more about Russian geography, we still think of Russia as one big, monolithic, all-Slavic country. But where almost all the people live in about a quarter of its land area, leaving the brave, crazy frontiersmen to populate the rest of nowhere. Except Russia is very, very big. And even though 110 million of its 143 million people...
That's beautiful, boy.
That still leaves over 30 million people across Siberia. This is tiny by most standards, especially in Asia, but that doesn't mean that there isn't still a
There's those buildings.
diversity here. So Russia's not just the Slavic life that you see on Life in Boris. Russia is also populated by various Turkic, Caucasian, Uralic, Mongolic, and other various different people.
Wow.
Now, Russia is made up of 85 total federal subjects, which is basically the catch-all term for all these different subdivisions. You see, like how the US has states and territories, each with different powers and authorities, Russia has different types of subdivisions depending on the needs of that particular area. First off, Russia has 46 oblasts, which are basically just like regular old states. Nothing too special except more Slavic. There are also autonomous oblasts. Well, just one, the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, whose population is only 0.1% Jewish because it turns out we don't all live on the Chinese border. The next type are the 9 Krais. The term Krai was used historically for the frontiers and the borderlands, much like Ukraine, which has always been kind of sandwiched between Russia and the rest of Europe. However, nowadays, they're essentially just like regular oblasts, and many of them don't even touch an international border. There are also 4 autonomous okrugs, basically autonomous districts, but with a somewhat substantial ethnic minority, and 3 cities of federal importance. No, really, that's what they're called. And they are Moscow, St. Petersburg, and the newest one added to the list, Sevastopol.
Sevastopol.
Finally, we have the republics, our main focus in this video. In terms of different cultures, this is the juicy part of Russia, as republics are entitled to 2 things that ordinary oblasts, okrugs, and the like aren't, which are their own constitutions and official languages other than Russian. This is because the 22 republics were made for individual people groups that all have very different histories, cultures, and languages from the Russian majority, even if Russians are the majority population in their territory. Oh, and they even have their own anthems.
See, I'll be honest with you. Growing up, and I know differently now because of my own research and stuff like that, but growing up, I thought all of Russia's was just like people of Caucasian persuasion. I didn't realize there was all these ethnic groups living there, which makes it even more intriguing because you have all these ethnic groups there with different cultures, and customs and traditions and stuff like that, which would make a great trip, like a year-long trip to go to all these different places there. That's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Because there's all kinds of different ethnicities here in America, but because there's so many big cities, they all jumbled up into one, and cultures sort of merge. But this is so vast, and the landscape is so big that people are able to maintain their own little traditions and stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool, which means stuff will stay the same for a long time, so you could actually go enjoy the differences.
Okay, now for the cultural stuff. Groupings of more than 20 non-Slavic ethnic groups represented by a republic into neat little language families, we get 5 different families that we can look a little bit into. Caucasian, Mongolic, Turkic, Uralic, and Iranian. Also, we can mostly
Iranian?
the Crimea issue here, since Crimea is a republic, but wasn't actually made into one with a specific ethnic group in mind. So please, put your torches down. Let's talk about the Caucasian republics first. And no, I don't just mean white people, I mean people of the Caucasus. The republics here being Adygea, Chechnya, Ingushetia, Kabardino-Balkaria, and Karachay-Cherkessia, representing the Adyghe, Chechens, Ingush, and Kabardians. No surprise, all these groups live just north of the Caucasus Mountains, arguably one of the most linguistically diverse mountain ranges in the world. Yeah, take that, Alps. Aside from the Azeris and Armenians in the area, there are also 3 Caucasian groups, being the Northwest and Northeast Caucasians and the Kartvelians, a group which includes Georgian. These 3 language families are all actually completely different from each other, being 3 of the world's primary language families, like Indo-European, Afro-Asiatic, etc. Next are Buryatia and Kalmykia, who speak Mongolic languages. Not surprisingly, Buryatia borders Mongolia.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool to visit Mongolian languages.
Kalmykia is all the way over by the Caucasus republics. This is the result of a migration that happened in the early 17th century. The Kalmyks are actually a subset of Oirat Mongols, which is a different group from the Khalkha Mongols seen in Mongolia, who migrated westwards throughout Kazakhstan and its modern-day Russia, rapidly establishing the Kalmyk Khanate. The Turkic peoples are a very widespread group, comprising of people such as the Turks in Turkey, the Azeris, Uzbeks, Kazakhs, and Uyghurs. However, in Russia, they make up the majority groups of Altai, Bashkortostan, Chuvashia, Karachay-Cherkessia again, Khakassia, Yakutia or Sakha, Tatarstan, and Tuva or Tanatuva. Tanatuva never dies. My bad, Tanatuva is the most powerful and glorious. Tanatuva will take over the world. Tanatuva is a superpower. Why is Liechtenstein not here? Okay, enough. The Turkic peoples are also very diverse, especially religiously, with different groups practicing everything from Sunni Islam to Eastern Orthodoxy to various shaman beliefs. When you have about 160 million people spread all across Asia for thousands of years, that does...
Man, look at
Next
that.
are the Uralic peoples.
Attire.
The most well-known groups are the people of Hungary, Estonia, and Finland, as well as the Sami people. So this might not initially seem like all that big of a group, until you realize just how many groups there are on the other side of the Russian border. Russia also has the republics of Karelia, Komi, Mariel, Mordovia, and Udmurtia. The Uralic peoples have actually lived in these areas around the northernmost areas of Europe and Asia for possibly over 7,000 years, and have branched off into numerous different groups and cultures, with the most widespread around Russia being of the Samoyeda group, including groups like the Nenets, Yenets, Nanasans, and Sokuls. To wrap it all up, we will talk about 2 more republics. First, Dagestan, which is an incredibly diverse republic made up of Avars, Dargins, Kalmyks, Lezgins, Laks, Azeris, Tamasans.
Wow, look at that place,
But
man.
no one ethnic group makes up more than 30% of the republic's population of 2.9 million. Also, it's worth talking about the one republic for a people group that speaks an Indo-European language. You know the controversial separatist region in Georgia called South Ossetia? Okay, probably not, but for those who have you ever wondered where North Ossetia is? Well, North Ossetia Alania is on the other side of the Russian border. These areas make up a group called the Ossetians, who are an Iranian ethnic group with ties to the Caucasus Mountains. So that's a rough overview of just how diverse Russia really is. In fact, there are so many other ethnic groups spread all around Russia, but these are just the ones with their own republics. The republics themselves were established by Lenin in 1922 as the autonomous Soviet Socialist republics, and during the 1920s were encouraged to celebrate their own cultures. But in the 30s, Stalin kind of turned everything around, instead purging non-Russians from government and mandating the Russian language all around the Soviet Union. With the breakup of the Soviet Union, however, the fate of the ASSRs weren't completely certain, resulting in everything from independence referendums in Tatarstan to a major conflict in Chechnya that you might have heard about. The republics were never entitled to independence from Russia, but yeah, things are actually still kind of complicated. I think that's enough political talk for now. So yeah, thank you as always for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or even want to see more of these videos from me in the future, do please let me know. Perhaps a video on a country like India wouldn't be a bad idea. Anyway,
Yes.
make sure to like, share, and support us on Patreon, and subscribe to learn something new about our
Just
world
stop.
every Sunday.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. It's just doing its own thing here. But that was quite interesting. That was quite interesting. Bear with me while I fight with this bloody thing here. But that was absolutely interesting. And I learned even more. I mean, look at how different all the people look in all the different republics. You know what I mean? They all have their language, and man, that would be so cool to visit as many of them as possible. And it's good to know. Here's what. Comment down below. Let me know of groups that were left out, if you are part of that group or you know of that group. Comment down below and let me know. Give me all the information you can. You know, teach a brethren. Teach me. But anyway, man, thank you all for listening. I hope you guys having a great week. Take care of each other. Cool runnings, all right?